Have you ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly capture a woman's heart, while others, good men, decent men, are ignored, ghosted, or friend-zoned? Is it just looks? Money, status? No, it's something deeper, something psychological. And if you don't know this, you're walking through life blind, especially when it comes to relationships with women. Today, I'm going to reveal to you the top 7 female weaknesses every man needs to know, using the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, the greatest Stoic emperor, to guide you. These 7 truths will change the way you interact with women forever. So if you're tired of being confused by female behavior, tired of wondering, does she like me? Or is she just playing games? Then hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stay until the very end. I promise you this could change your love life permanently. Let's build some context before we dive in. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very thing that confuses you about women is also the exact thing that can teach you how to win their heart, if you have the courage to study it. Today, we're going to use that Stoic mindset to master the battlefield of attraction. Let's start with a story. There was a young Roman general, a man of skill, discipline, and honor. He could win wars, but he couldn't win the heart of the woman he loved. He gave her gifts, compliments, attention, but she drifted away from him like a ship leaving harbor. Why? Because like many men, he didn't understand her hidden weaknesses. Weaknesses are not flaws. They are emotional needs, psychological doors that, if unlocked, can pull a woman closer to you, almost against her own will. 1. Emotional adventure over comfort. Think back to your first crush. Not just someone you liked, but the one that made your heart race. The one you used to stay up thinking about, imagining conversations in your head, checking your phone, hoping for their name to pop up. Got it? Now be honest with me, what did you really want from that person? Was it peace and quiet? A stable, boring routine? Or was it excitement? That rush of emotions where one moment you feel like you're flying, and the next you're nervous, wondering, do they like me back? We've all been there. And guess what? Women feel the exact same way. See, most guys make a fatal mistake in relationships. They think, if I'm nice, predictable, stable, and I show her that I'm a good man, she will stay with me forever. I hate to break it to you, but that's not how the female mind works. Women crave emotional adventure, not chaos, not drama, but that electric uncertainty, the what's going to happen next feeling. It's like watching a movie. Imagine going to the cinema, and 5 minutes into the movie, you already know exactly how it's going to end. Would you stay? Of course not. Now here's where it gets personal for you. Think about that girl you liked, the one who pulled away after a while. Did you ever notice how at the start everything felt alive, new, fun, and then slowly, maybe you became too available, too predictable. You answered her texts within seconds. You were always free. You made it too easy. I get it. I've done it too. We all have. But here's the truth. Predictability kills passion. Marcus Aurelius said something powerful. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are boring, your energy becomes boring. If your life is predictable, your conversations become predictable. And what happens? She loses that emotional adventure. She doesn't want to, but her emotional wiring pulls her away, searching for that feeling somewhere else. So how do you fix this? You don't have to become a bad boy. You don't have to start fights or play games. But you do need to add some spice to your life. Don't always be available. Surprise her. Sometimes take longer to reply. Change your routine, try new things. Sometimes challenge her ideas. Make her wonder, what's he thinking right now? Trust me, mystery is better than predictability. And don't feel bad if this has happened to you before. It's not your fault. You were probably taught to be nice all the time. But nice doesn't create fire. Let's make this your story now. Not the one where you lost her, but the one where she starts missing you, wondering why you're suddenly different. More alive, more unpredictable, and more attractive than ever before. And in a moment, I'm going to show you exactly why that unpredictability is connected to the second weakness. Validation feels like a drug. And trust me, you've never heard it explained like this before. 2. Validation feels like a drug. Have you ever sent a text, waited, and then checked your phone every 30 seconds hoping for that reply? Be honest, we've all been there. That restless feeling in your chest, like your whole mood is now controlled by that one notification. Now imagine this. What if I told you that women feel that exact same rush? But here's the twist, it doesn't come from your gifts or attention. It comes from validation. Validation is like a drug to the female mind. Not because women are vain or attention-seeking, it's deeper than that. It's biological. It's emotional. It's how they're wired. Think about social media for a second. Why do you think women post those selfies, filters, new dresses, or gym pics? It's not the dress. It's not even the compliments. It's the feeling those compliments give them. Now here's where this connects to your story. Remember that girl you liked? The one you thought about constantly? Think of the last time you gave her a big compliment. Something like, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met." What happened next? I'll tell you what often happens. The more you praised her, the more distant she became. Why? Because you gave her the drug too easily. No chase, no mystery, no emotional adventure. Marcus Aurelius gave us a timeless lesson on this. Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit. What does that mean here? It means stop wondering what's going on in her mind all the time. Stop chasing. Instead, become the man who gives validation in rare, meaningful doses, the man she wants to impress, not the one constantly trying to impress her. Here's the truth. Validation works best when she has to earn it. Let me give you a quick story. There was this guy I knew, average looks, average job, but every beautiful woman wanted him. Why? Because he never gave easy compliments. Instead of "you're so hot," he'd say something like, "You know, I like the way you think." Most girls don't catch that kind of detail. Boom, now she feels special. Not because of her looks, but because of something deeper, something earned. You don't win her heart by flooding her with attention. You win her by making her work for your approval. So next time you're tempted to flood her DMs with compliments, don't. Wait. Let her wonder. Let her think why you haven't said anything yet. That curiosity is the emotional itch that makes her come back for more. 3. Women are drawn to masculine certainty. Have you ever been with a woman who said something like, "I don't know what I want," or "I'm just confused right now"? It's frustrating, isn't it? One minute she's all about you, laughing at your jokes, texting first, and then suddenly she pulls away, gives mixed signals, and leaves you wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the truth that most men never learn. It's not about what you did. It's about who you are. Let me break it down. Women are drawn almost magnetically to masculine certainty. Why? Because certainty is rare, and the rarest things in life are always the most valuable. Let's take this deeper. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Let that hit you for a second. Stop thinking about how to be attractive. Stop asking if you're doing it right. Just decide who you are and be that man. I want you to imagine this with me. Think about the last time you hesitated with a woman. Maybe you wanted to ask her out, but you said, "What if she says no?" Maybe you wanted to disagree with her, but you stayed silent because you didn't want to upset her. Guess what? She felt that hesitation, and in that moment, her attraction dropped. Not because you're not good enough, but because you didn't trust yourself. Women don't follow words, they follow energy. And the strongest energy a man can bring is certainty. It's like walking into a room full of people who don't know what to do. And then one guy steps forward and says, "Follow me." Everyone follows, not because he's smarter or better looking, but because he knows where he's going. Now think about your own love story. That one woman who used to like you but drifted away. What if I told you that if you had acted with certainty, everything might have been different? Certainty isn't arrogance. It's not pretending you're better. It's simply being a man who knows what he wants and doesn't apologize for it. It's texting when you feel like it, not just when she gives you permission. It's choosing where to go for dinner and not saying, "Whatever you want, babe." It's disagreeing with her when it matters because you respect her enough to be real. Women feel when a man knows himself, and when they feel that, they trust you. They relax. They respect you. And that respect, it builds deep attraction. Now before you go, here's where it gets crazy. Most men never develop certainty because they don't know how to control one key thing, their energy. And that's why in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how emotional energy creates obsession. 4. Status isn't just money, it's social energy. There was a guy I knew in college. Let's call him Jason. Now Jason wasn't rich. He didn't drive a fancy car, no expensive watch. Honestly, if you saw him, you'd think average guy. But here's the weird thing. Every room he walked into, people noticed him. Guys wanted to hang out with him. Girls laughed at his jokes, even the really bad ones. And the hottest girl on campus, yeah, she was always sitting next to him. Why? It wasn't money. It wasn't looks. It was something deeper, something most men don't even think about. Social energy. Now I want you to think about your own life. Have you ever seen a guy who didn't have much money? Wasn't super fit, but somehow women wanted to be around him? That's status. But status isn't just about cash, it's about energy. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Let's twist that slightly. The attraction in your life depends on the quality of your energy. Let me ask you something personal. How do you show up when you're with a woman you like? Do you shrink down, try not to say anything wrong, try to be nice? Or do you show up like you've got nothing to prove? See, women are drawn to status because it's connected to security. They don't just want your compliments, they want to know, can this man hold his own around other people? Does he own the room or does he blend into the background? Money doesn't give you that confidence. You know what does? The way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, the way you speak to the waiter, the way you introduce yourself to strangers, the way you can make people laugh, not because you're trying too hard, but because you're comfortable in your own skin. Let me bring you into this. Think about her for a second. That woman you've been thinking about. Imagine if the next time you saw her, you didn't wait for her to like you. Instead, you walked in, laughed with people, shook hands with confidence, and didn't even try to impress her. What do you think would happen? I'll tell you what happens almost every time. Now she starts wondering how to impress you. That's social energy. That's real status. Here's the mistake most guys make. They focus on things to look valuable. Cars, watches, clothes. None of that works if your energy is weak. Women want a man who feels like a leader in his world. Now here's where it gets fun. In a moment, I'm going to show you why feminine desire is powered by uncertainty. And when you understand that, your whole love life will flip on its head. 5. Emotional independence is powerfully attractive. I want you to imagine a scene from your own life. Picture a time when you liked someone so much that it almost felt like they were in control of your happiness. You know what I'm talking about, right? You'd be sitting there,
Phone in your hand.
refreshing their Instagram, wondering why they didn't watch your story yet, or why that reply was taking so long. It's exhausting. But here's the twist. What if I told you that the exact thing making you feel weak is also what's making her lose attraction for you? See, there's a rule about human behavior that's true whether we like it or not. We always value what doesn't need us. And Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" Let's break that down. It's not her that's making you upset. It's the attachment to needing her, validation that's making you suffer. Now let's make it your story. Picture that same woman. Now imagine this. Instead of you sitting there feeling nervous and waiting for her attention, you're busy living your life. You're working out. You're building something. You're out with your friends, laughing, living, growing. And then, ding, she texts you. Do you think that energy feels different? Absolutely. Because emotional independence is like gravity. It pulls people toward you. Let me tell you a story about a guy I knew named Daniel. Daniel was obsessed with this girl for months. He texted her nonstop. He double texted, sent memes, good morning, good night, the whole thing. And guess what? She lost interest. But the moment Daniel stopped, the moment he focused on his own life, started building his career, going to the gym, not responding right away, she showed up again. Why? Because emotional independence is magnetic. Here's why it works. When you don't need someone, you give off confidence. When you're not emotionally desperate, you communicate strength. When you're calm and focused on your own mission, women respect you. It's not about playing games. It's about respecting yourself, enough to not rely on another person to give you meaning. I want you to think about it like this. Who's more attractive? 1. The guy who's anxious, refreshing his texts, overthinking everything. 2. The guy who's working on his body, his business, his purpose, checking his phone when he feels like it. It's obvious, isn't it? So ask yourself, do you want her attention or do you want her respect? Because when you become emotionally independent, respect always follows. Now get ready, because in the next part, I'm going to show you how feminine desire feeds on uncertainty. And once you understand this next piece, you'll finally stop chasing and start attracting. 6. Women respond to challenge over compliments. How many times have you thought that being nice would win her over, only to watch her go for the guy who doesn't text back? Painful, right? It's confusing. You think, I'm giving her attention, I'm making her feel beautiful, I'm doing everything right. So why does she seem bored with me? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't fall for comfort, they fall for challenge. Why? Because human nature doesn't value what comes easily. Let me tell you a story that might sound dangerously familiar to your own life. There was a guy I once coached, let's call him Aaron. Aaron met this beautiful woman at a coffee shop. They hit it off right away. Good conversation. She smiled, laughed, even gave him her number. He thought he won. And then, he started doing what most guys do when they like a woman. He complimented her a lot. You're amazing. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met. I can't believe you're talking to me. At first, she responded politely. Then slowly, the replies got colder, shorter, and finally ghosted. Now here's where it gets interesting. Aaron was confused, but what he didn't realize was this. Compliments, when given freely and constantly, lose their value. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." And you know what women subconsciously think when you flood them with easy praise? If he thinks I'm this amazing after barely knowing me, what does that say about his standards? It's not the compliment that's the problem. It's that there's no challenge behind it. Women crave the feeling of earning a man's attention. They don't want a guy who's impressed by them. They want a man who makes them wonder, am I good enough for him? That's where challenge comes in. Think about it like this. Which one gets a woman's attention faster? 1, you're so beautiful, I'm lucky to even talk to you. Or 2, you're fun, but I'm still deciding if you're trouble or not. See the difference? One makes her feel above you. The other makes her feel intrigued by you. Challenge doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean playing childish games. It means calling her out playfully, teasing her just a little, making her wonder if she has your full attention or not. Why does this work? Because mystery creates desire, and when you add challenge to that mystery, she chases you. Now, before you think you've got it all figured out, here's the twist. Even challenge by itself won't work unless you understand the secret of certainty. And that's what I'm going to break down next. 7, women are emotionally drawn to mystery. Have you ever wondered why the women you like the most are often the ones who confuse you the most? It's like, the more you try to figure her out, the more distant she becomes. One moment she's smiling, texting you first, acting interested. The next moment, cold, distant, confusing. Why does this happen? Here's the truth that most guys don't want to hear. Women are emotionally drawn to mystery. It's not because they're playing games, it's because emotional mystery creates emotional attraction. Let me tell you a story. There was a guy named Mark, good-looking, successful, funny, the whole package. And when he met this woman, let's call her Sarah, he did everything right. Compliments, dates, flowers. He even wrote her a note about how he'd never felt this way about someone before. Guess what happened next? She ghosted him. But here's where it gets interesting. 6 months later, she was dating a guy who was half as good-looking, made half the money, but never gave her the full story. Never told her exactly what he was thinking. Never revealed all his emotions too soon. Why? Because the unknown is addictive. Marcus Aurelius said, "The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious." That's mystery right there. See, most men overshare in hopes of building trust, but what they're actually doing is killing curiosity. And when curiosity dies, desire dies. Let me bring you into this. Think about that one woman you wanted so badly. If you're honest, wasn't part of your obsession with her because she felt like a mystery you had to solve? That feeling, that pull you felt? Women feel that exact same thing when they meet a man who doesn't give away his whole heart too soon. It's not about lying or playing games, it's about holding something back. Not telling her your whole life story on the first date. Not confessing how you feel after 3 text conversations. Letting her wonder a little. Letting her think about you when you're not around. Because desire isn't built on information, it's built on imagination. When a woman doesn't know exactly where she stands with you, her mind fills in the blanks. And that's where emotional obsession starts to build. Now, I want you to think about your own story here. What if, just what if, You stopped telling women exactly how you felt too soon. What if you stopped chasing and started letting them wonder about you? That's mystery. That's power. That's the reason some guys have women thinking about them for weeks, even months after they meet. Now, here's the twist most guys miss. Mystery only works if you've built certainty first. That's what I'm about to reveal in the final part of this story. The full strategy that brings everything together. Don't leave yet. Your story isn't over. Remember that Roman general I told you about at the beginning? The one who lost the woman because he was too eager, too predictable, too available? He learned slowly, painfully, what Marcus Aurelius was trying to teach him all along. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That heartbreak taught him to master himself. He became mysterious, decisive, composed, and eventually, he didn't chase women anymore. Women chased him. That's the game. Not manipulation. Not tricks. Master yourself first, and the world, including women, will follow. Apply these and watch your love life transform. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.